welcome to another episode of Coffee with the K's. This is episode 5. We have coffee. We are the K's. Ron K, Kyle K, Joshua K.
The K's.
The K's.
With their coffee.
And we've got coffee. So,
so get your coffee.
Welcome to our podcast. And if you're viewing us on YouTube, thank you for watching. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe so you can see more episodes. So it's been a little bit since we've done an episode.
It's been a delay. We're sorry about that.
Yeah, we had some issues.
We had some technical difficulties.
Well, we did a podcast, the last one, and there was some problems with the audio. It was staticky.
Mm-hmm.
And echoey.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we tried it again, and the audio didn't record.
We had no audio.
No audio.
We had a super guest. We had a great time.
Talking.
And
yeah.
It was no good.
No. We all finished. We were all high-fiving. We were like, this is great. It's like the best episode ever. And I go to put it on the flash drives, and it's not. I'm like, there's no sound.
There's no sound.
I almost
The thing
cried.
that was precious about that episode was we compared, what was it, Guatemalan?
Yeah, it was the Amavita Guatemalan, which is what we're drinking right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, to Maxwellhouse.
Yeah.
And we dripped them both.
Yeah, well, we did a pour over.
Pour over, rather, yeah. And the thing that was great was when I knew right away I could smell the Guatemalan. That's my favorite. So I was like, oh, that's Guatemalan. And then we went and we all tried the Maxwellhouse, and the look on all of our faces at the same time.
It was a collective, like...
I know, it was like, like syrup of Ipecac to make you puke, when you're a kid.
Yes,
Maxwellhouse, man.
No.
Do it every time.
It was really bad because I really thought, I thought for sure that we'd at least to be in the running a little bit. Like we'd be able to taste something. I thought
it would do better, yeah.
Well, I did the same process. I did the same pour-over process where I measured the beans and, did the bloom and all of that stuff. Made it the same way that I make all the other ones, which is, all measured out and timed out and all of that. And so I thought that would have something to do with making the process better.
It still tasted like it was kept in an army boot.
It was really bad.
It didn't taste like coffee even. Like I honestly, it was... Well,
and really, I'm always dogging on community coffee all the time.
This was worse. Oh, are we allowed to say that?
I mean, sorry. For all the Maxwellhouse executives that have subscribed to Coffee with the K's.
That's right.
We hate to break it to you, but
it's not good to the last drop.
Oh my gosh, none of us had more than...
Nobody drank more than one sip.
Maybe two. I did try a couple
it was
sips.
funny. And even Ryan was like, does anybody want mine? Like, no.
So tell us what we're doing today with the coffee.
All right, so today we've got two different methods of brewing. Okay,
Ooh.
So in the smaller glass we have the pour over. In the taller glass we have the French press.
Same coffee.
Same coffee. This is the Amavita Guatemalan coffee. This is a medium roast. And Amavita is relatively local, right? Mary Esther?
I don't know. I don't know what we said last time. We do think it's
I think it's
somewhere.
Fort Walton Beach. It's somewhere close to us. And this was a gift from
Mr. Van. Thank you, Mr. Van.
Very good, very good. So what do we want to try first? Do we want to try the pour over or the French press?
Pour over.
All right.
It looks lighter than the French press just by looking at them.
Just holding them up.
There we go.
All right, give it a sip. Let's see what.
What are we supposed to be doing? Aren't we supposed to be aroma and all that?
Tastes good.
Oh, it does taste very good.
Yeah.
All right. So first of all, the aroma.
So yummy.
Subtle introduction, various nuances of acidity, taste, flavor, bitterness, sweet
That's
tone.
like squeezing the bag and smelling the beans.
Nice.
It is. It has a nice aroma. You get a pleasant aroma before you even drink it.
It is. It's very light, kind of fragrant.
But it definitely kind of piques your interest just smelling it.
That's it. So then when you taste it, are you getting a bright, dry sensation, or is it tart? Is it lush, rich? Vibrant.
I would say it maybe has a little bit of a tart taste. Maybe
a little bit.
A little bit,
yeah,
but it's
acidic.
Yummy.
Yeah, well, yeah, it's definitely there. I think it's I would say balanced.
It's very smooth though. It's very smooth. It's not like a harsh taste.
No.
So when you say tart, it's not bitter.
Yeah,
tart.
it's a little bit.
It's
So
just
it's kind of like a medium acidity. It's not extreme. You know, we've had some before that was like pow right when you sip it. You know, I don't know if it's necessarily.
It really has a lot of flavor, though. It kind of swims around in your mouth a good bit. So maybe that's
body, mouthfeel. What would you say? Very smooth, right?
Very
silky,
smooth, but
yeah,
complex. I mean, I think it has a lot of flavors to it.
And then, what flavors? What flavors are you getting on it?
I do bad at this part.
It's kind of fruity.
Yeah, fruity, blackcurrant, mango. I'm just throwing stuff out there.
Yeah.
Honeysuckle, rose, lilac. I don't think it's any. It doesn't have any of that.
It's not flowery.
No.
It's not. It's more of a little. Yeah,
Cedar,
little
pine, sandalwood. I'm not getting any of that either.
No.
Those are like some of the more earthy kind of notes. I'm not getting
because
any
it's
of that.
light. It's kind of light.
Yeah, that's it. Honey, get a little bit of honey on that.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe,
Yeah.
and it doesn't have that chocolate taste at all.
Mm-mm. So, okay, that's good. So, for those of you that don't know, in our last podcast, we came across these 4 categories for tasting coffee: aroma, acidity, body, and then flavor. So, that's what we're using now to describe what we're experiencing. So, that's the pour over.
You're already drinking.
I know. I want to
I
save
know,
a sip
she's-
of the pour over to in case I don't like this one as much.
Well, I mean, it's the same coffee.
Yeah,
it's
I
just
know,
a different.
but
All right,
okay,
so with
so-
the
It's not Maxwellhouse.
Oh,
Right.
thank God! I thought maybe he tricked us.
even I wouldn't stoop that low for a joke. Okay, yeah, but so the
Best part of waking up. Oh, that's Folgers.
That's
Yeah, we have to
Folgers.
try.
We gotta-
Folgers.
we have to
We
try
might like-
Folgers.
We might like
Do a
Folgers.
Folgers and a Maxwellhouse.
I don't know if I
It'll be
can
Dog
do
Days
that.
podcast.
Oh my
And community,
God.
because you know.
Oh yeah, geez, we have to put community.
Okay,
in
do we
that.
get to drink this, or we just gonna
No,
look at
no,
it?
because I wanted to talk about it. So I did the pour over. So the pour over was 21 grams. This is a medium grind on the in the burr grinder. Took about 4 minutes. Okay, the French press, on the other hand, was a little bit longer. It was a bigger batch that I made so that we could all have enough. But it was a much coarser grind that I went with this time, as opposed to basically a lot of times I'll go like the same type of grind for the pour over I'll use for the French press, and I did.
Oh, I thought you used a finer grind.
No,
for
I
the
went
French
the other
press.
way. I went
Oh.
coarser grind on the French press.
All right, we
and
get to taste it.
Took a little bit of time, so let's see.
That's better.
It is much more body.
Yeah, it is
Right?
thicker. I wouldn't necessarily say it's better.
I would.
It's-
It tastes
it's a-
more coffee.
It is a
I mean,
It tastes more coffee.
it has
well,
overtones
coffee is a
of, it has
flavor. Yeah.
coffee notes.
There's notes of coffee.
I'm gonna give you a note.
So
Well,
yeah,
it's richer.
it's
I think
richer.
it's
That's why I
richer.
said more body,
More
right?
body, but I really like the pour over.
No, I like the French press better. I'm on that one. Mm-hmm.
The aroma's kind of light. It's not a heavy aroma.
Yeah, I got that from the pour over as well.
Yeah, I think lately I have been enjoying a lighter roast. So this was it was lighter in the pour over.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe that's just like a kick I'm on right now.
Yeah,
I mean, I
well,
like this. If this is all you gave me, I would, yum.
It is a medium roast,
But it seemed lighter in the pour over than in this version.
Well,
This has more,
there's more oil in the French
it has
press.
more flavors.
You can
definitely.
taste the oil because it's, like I said, more coffee.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah, that's it. Yeah, so that's kind of the biggest
Not
thing.
as tart for some reason.
Well, so
Oh,
was
it's
there,
smooth.
is there less acidity then in the French press than in the pour over?
I would say definitely,
Okay.
definitely less acidity. Hey,
Okay.
I agree with that.
That's good.
Wow.
I get nervous about these taste tests.
Yeah.
I can't say orange, so just
Oh,
just
jeez.
just
Stay
can't
away from
even.
the orange. Yeah, it reminds me of that kicking and screaming where he's like
I thought you might do that.
Guatemalan. He's
Yeah.
like Nicaraguan. He's like, yeah, that's not coffee, that's Russian vodka.
I thought about that, but if you put that,
Thought
in
about
these-
Russian.
I thought about Russian.
I was thinking about doing that.
No, would make
For a hell of a
coffee with the
podcast.
case more fun.
Yeah,
Well, I
Russian
thought he
vodka.
couldn't do that. How could you do that? Because you'd look at it and you'd see that it's not,
No, you'd have to put it in like a travel
a
bag
travel mug.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you couldn't see it.
No. So now everyone's going to notice.
Vodka like you did coffee. That would not go down well.
Yes, that's probably wouldn't go down at all. That's so funny. So the next time we'll all have travel mugs and we'll keep you guessing.
That's it. We'll see. We'll see what it is. Well,
that was fun. So we really,
This was a metal French press that I used instead of a ceramic French press.
Can you taste the metal?
I didn't know that you had the two different kinds.
There's two different kinds.
Oh my
gosh. Now
ours is metal.
Yeah, so I had a ceramic one, but it was like a small one. I think I ended up getting rid of that.
And the push part
is metal.
Oh yeah, the push part is metal, but the whole carafe is metal. Yeah. And yours is glass.
Ours is glass.
Okay. Yeah. And so I like the metal. I think it actually. Did you notice that this was hotter than the pour over?
Yes.
Yeah. It was a little cold from sitting, but.
Yeah. Well, yeah. So he does this to me all the time, okay? So I go to make the coffee and I set up all the stuff, and then I'm like getting things together, and he's always sitting there like, okay, the coffee's getting cold. Coffee's getting cold. We're not gonna have coffee with the cake.
Yes.
And have cold coffee.
That's it. Cold coffee. We'll have to do that. We'll have to do cold brew for another one.
I know that would be fun, but this. So
you guys aren't as into. I see. That's what happens. I say cold brewing, and that's what I get from both of you.
Change the subject.
Look at the weather outside.
That's right. No, this was nice. This was a nice comparison. So we definitely like that Amavita Guatemalan.
Yeah,
that's
it's very
one of
good.
our favorites, and it's probably gone now.
It's almost gone. Yeah.
Because we have been drinking it a good bit. So that's been very good. We'll have to find out more about that brewer. Or the roaster, whatever it is.
Yeah, brewer.
Yeah, brewer.
Man, you were just on the alcohol kick right now.
I don't know what's wrong.
Brewing and vodka.
Switch right over, boy.
Well,
Arnie.
It's Sunday. It's summer. We don't have to be at school tomorrow.
There you go. It's just vodka with the K's doesn't have the same.
It's not
doesn't really roll off your tongue.
I don't know. I kind of like that.
Well, we did talk about doing a after dark cocktails with the K episode. Maybe
Cocktail.
we'll give that to you. We'll do it. We'll call it. It'll be like a small version of it, right? Like a
Scotch
mini
with the K's.
Yeah, right.
I like
there
that cocktails with the K's. That's funny.
Yeah.
No, but you really missed a good one last week because what I wanted to do was I wanted to play. I don't know how you would do it. I said to Dad, I wanted to play the video of last week's podcast and then narrate it and be like, this is what Ryan's saying right about now, and this is Ron spitting out the Maxwellhouse. No. But it really was disappointing. I mean, but one thing that we wanted to share is that we all have technical issues with a lot of this technology, even though we use it all the time, you use it all the time, you use it all the time. It's constantly growing and evolving, and all of a sudden there's problems, and
stuff happens.
Stuff happens, and it's very disappointing.
Oh, and we're going to have Ryan back again.
Yes.
So we'll get him back, and you'll get to see what a great person he is to have on a podcast.
Oh yeah, he was a great guest, and can't wait to have him back. We just enjoyed hanging out.
Yeah.
But then it was funny because that was his response was, all right, so when are we going to do it again?
Which was nice.
Right.
I was really glad. That was it.
Yeah.
So his name's Ryan Martin, and he's a flight student here at NAS Pensacola.
Don't give away the next episode.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah. We want to
cliffhanger.
keep them in suspense.
Yes.
That's right.
So we did talk about a lot of neat stuff last time, and we probably will vary it somewhat because we
can't have the same conversation again. But I think it'll be fine. So, but we're here. We're moving on.
We're
going forward. So. We're in off-season mode, and we're kind of in this dead zone here when it comes to sports, because there's really not a whole lot going on unless you're watching golf. Are you guys watching golf now?
No.
No, you're not keeping up with any of that. Yeah. So then I don't know.
We should be watching golf. Really,
if I can't do it well, nobody can.
I know there is something about it that when we go and we play and it's like whatever, and then we watch it and I just see these guys and I'm like sorcery.
I know.
What is this?
No, so since we are talking about golf, I mean, it's true. I was listening to this lady, and she said, so you want to play golf and you want to improve your game. So what do? You watch golfers. You watch golfing shows. You watch tips on how to be a good golfer, and you watch swings, and then you watch them play in the Masters. and they all do it different.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you go, wait a minute. I was trying to do everything exactly like, Bubba Watson, although I'm not a lefty, so I can't do it like Bubba Watson. So, then you get discouraged. And she was talking about that with a lot of things in life. You see somebody play the guitar.
Oh, yeah.
You see somebody play the drums. Well, I'm going to do everything he does so I can play just like him. It's not going to
work.
But then, it is...
There are certain fundamental...
We are individuals.
But we are
Right.
individuals.
But it is funny because that does happen. And I see it, and it's funny to hear it coming from this perspective when it comes to golf, because I hate the fact that I'm so bad at it, but...
Yes, we know that.
Yeah.
You have trouble hiding it.
Oh, do I? I thought I hid it so well.
Last time.
Yes.
Yeah, well...
I lost.
Yeah.
They won.
We're not going to tell you what the score was.
No, we are not. We were just a little bit over.
It's a little. But, the thing is, people do that with me all the time, and I'm sure you guys see it too when they come for lessons, because they're comparing themselves to professionals.
Yeah.
So they are wanting to know why they can't do what these professional musicians who have devoted their entire life to this craft are able to do.
Yes.
And they can't do it after a month or two of lessons, and it's just
A month or
like,
two. That's true.
Did you guys just jump over to Browns and
We
go
did.
right to
We
music?
were hoping you wouldn't notice.
No,
We said off season.
time out, man.
I was like, come on, nothing's happening. I went,
Sorry.
I posed the age-old question: is Deshaun Watkins worth more?
What? Watkins. Yeah.
Watkins. That's what I said.
We got it. Okay.
Worth more.
No,
than
Watson. Watson.
Watson.
You messed it up.
I can't even get his name right.
No, because you were the one who started it, because
I
you started calling him
You're a
Watkins.
bad
That's what it
influence.
was. Yeah, I was like, no, that's Sammy Watkins, totally different. Watson, Deshaun Watson, is he going to play?
No, is he worth more than Tom Brady?
Oh.
Is he
No.
comparable
Oh my gosh.
on any way on this planet to Tom Brady?
Well,
So you have Tom Brady, the greatest of all time.
right.
Then you have Deshaun Watkins.
Watson.
It's Watkins.
Watson.
It's Watson.
It's Watson?
Watson.
Oh, man.
That's what I said.
Dude, like he's so memorable. You must have seen him play. But he's not even on the radar.
Okay, so here...
And they gave him all
A
those
lot of money.
millions of dollars.
Yes, not saying that I agree with it, but here's the argument, okay? The answer to that argument is...
Brain damage.
Well, here's the
That's the argument.
he plays for the next 5-6 years and wins the Super Bowl every year.
Okay, so when we come back to episode 290 in 5 years,
And we have 5 Super Bowls.
Can you predict the future?
No.
This is the right now and the past.
Yeah.
Brady, he delivers. He did deliver.
Absolutely.
He's like a Super Bowl champion, Hall of Famer for sure.
he's like run out of fingers, hasn't he?
That's what I'm saying. He'd be putting him on his
For all
toes
the
and wearing
rings.
sandals,
That's funny.
And then our guy in Cleveland is not even on the ring, but they're going to pay him all that outrageous money. Then you add the fact that he's got these, legal problems.
Yeah.
Seems he's,
But
accused of some really nasty stuff. Nobody cares except the NFL because he made him look bad.
Well, that's what it comes down to, and that's what all of this is essentially about, is with the whole, did he violate the personal conduct policy? Because it's still allegations, right? And nothing's been proven in the court of law to, have him convicted. So it's all speculation.
He'll be retired by then.
Well, that's the thing, right? And so right now what we're waiting on is, word, and who knows, maybe by the time we even post this, we'll have word on it. But we're waiting on word from this former judge to see, is there enough evidence to show that he violated the personal conduct policy? And from everything it looks like there is
the NFL personal conduct
Yeah,
policy
right.
has nothing to do with...
It's a freak show circus. You got a retired federal judge.
Mm-hmm.
Why? There's no basis in law here.
Oh, I know.
She's not talking about the law.
Well,
she's talking about
policy.
Goodell's sensibilities.
Well, this was part of the agreement that the players' union got, because they were upset with the fact that it seemed like Roger Goodell just was kind of emperor and ruler over everything, and
he
could
still
just,
is.
Well, yeah, but this
She can rule. He can
Right.
throw it out.
Right, but there's a lot of people saying he's not gonna do that because why would they go through all of this process? And there's a lot of people that are getting paid in this whole thing.
Well, I find it very disappointing. I don't like the fact that the Browns management team that they put us the fans
that's
in this
the
position.
issue, right?
So I don't like that.
Yeah,
That's
you're
why
worried
I don't
about the NFL, and how it's making them look. How's it making Cleveland look?
It makes us look stupid.
Oh, as if we needed help.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
It's very embarrassing, and I don't like it. That's why I don't like talking about it because I think I think I'm just gonna root for Cincinnati.
No, we're not doing that.
Only if the Browns are out of the picture, we'll root for.
Well, I'm sorry, the Browns are not going to get a Super Bowl this year.
No.
I don't think that's what we're looking at.
Well,
First year with
according to Deshaun,
that's what
what else? Start sizing your fingers,
well,
man.
I know, but what else is he supposed to say? Hey, they paid me a ton of money, and I'm surely not going to deliver. Like what? Of course he's going to come out and say I'm going to win all these Super Bowls.
And nobody can see through that. Nobody looks at that and goes like, "Dude, you're full of crap."
Well, yeah, but what else is he supposed to say? Hey, guys, you paid me a ton of money, and I'm a mediocre
How about keeping your mouth shut?
Yeah, well, he couldn't
because he opened his mouth and he said, "Oh, I'm not admitting guilt. There's no way I'm going to settle these because I won't clear my name."
Yeah,
and then everybody gets a Rolex, and all of a sudden the story changes.
Well, you went.
I mean, the way the dude gives away Rolex like Skittles. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
it's like what's going on, man?
Well,
he's got
he's
$2.5 million.
He's building morale.
He's building. It's a morale builder.
They said, well, might be time for another trip to the Bahamas.
Oh yeah.
That's what they said.
Did they?
That stuff doesn't last forever. Yeah. That goodwill, thanks for the Rolex.
Right.
Well,
now you need to produce.
We still have a bunch of time. When does training camp start?
I think it's the end of July.
Oh, which is
last week of July.
Weeks.
So we're
then
getting
we'll start
close.
To see a little something, and then we can, because
I'm excited about these. I'm excited about these young guys that we got coming in. And we've got a local guy that's going to be playing on defense.
They're just not talking about him enough. They keep talking about this this kicker. That's going to be like...
Well, because he's the only one that's guaranteed to start.
Oh, is that
because
why?
all these other guys are still competing to be on the initial 53-man
And then the other
roster.
one is that Bell, David Bell.
Yeah, apparently, they love him, and he's showing some amazing plays. He's really fast. He didn't drop a single pass in all of the
so he's a wide
rookie
receiver?
camp. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So that's where,
all I'm hearing about.
Yeah.
In my limited research.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not holding out hope for much of a season. This is going to go the way of Hugh Jackson, but
well, it's probably
you
good.
heard it here first, folks.
It's probably good to start out with the bar really low.
Really low.
Yeah.
There you go.
That way,
anything they get is
anything
great.
they do is right.
Yeah.
That's it.
That would be a really good transition into music. I had a student tell me that.
Oh, so we need to keep the bar low.
That's what.
So then anything,
that is what one of my students
Who
said.
is this?
My student said, Miss Kate, because I was like, I know you can do this, and she said, no, you have the bar way too high for me. And I said, no. So
no.
I said, so you're telling me I have to lower my? Yes, she said, lower your expectations. I was like, oh my gosh. It was very sad.
What is it about? Americans, it's like that movie Gung Ho. We talk a lot of crap, but we don't really seem to put up with it much.
Yeah, right.
We don't have much to bring to the
That's a great
table.
movie if you can find it.
What, Gung Ho?
Yeah, it's really good.
Who's
Michael Keaton.
Oh, Michael Keaton.
Yeah,
that's it.
Yeah,
I was thinking.
Really good.
I was thinking something else. Yeah, that's a good one.
But why is it that work and discipline is such a thing that's a negative?
Yeah.
It's so negative. Oh man, I have to work. I have to put forth effort. No, man. I got this little magic wand in the back room. Let me go get that for him. You know.
Did you hear me pull out the magic wand speech?
Did you?
Yeah,
No,
I did that the other day.
It's good.
Well,
It never runs out, man.
No.
That's it.
Because everybody thinks you got one.
That was it. I was literally, we were having the same conversation. I was talking to the student. He was struggling, and it wasn't. He was struggling because he wanted to be able to play it right now, perfectly, and he couldn't do it. And I was like, this is what you have to do to be able to. And then he wasn't doing what I was telling him.
This is how you gain this skill.
Right.
And
then, let's forget about that.
Well, that was the thing. So then he was getting upset because he couldn't do it. But I was like, okay, why are you getting upset? You're not doing anything I'm telling you to do.
Well, there
like
you go.
I'm giving you the roadmap here.
I'm having
Follow the
flashbacks.
steps. You know? Yeah.
Well, it is, and that's it. Really, we want everything instant and fast, and I just thinking about this right now is I think about some of these kids at school that I teach. They don't want to work at whatever they're supposed to be working at, math, reading, music even. But what do they do when they get home from school?
They work at video games.
Absolutely, and they get from one level to the next, and they compare, and they talk about it, and they go on YouTube and research.
And that
so
takes
they
work.
really are. It does take work. I'm not doing that work with video games. I mean, but it does take work, and I thought, so they do have...
So what's the difference?
Motivation. I think that's the thing. Like,
you hear sometimes like, oh man, music lessons are supposed to be fun. Well, I have a good time.
Yeah.
I know.
You really do.
Well, but let's think about this for just a second, because it brings up an interesting point when we talk about the environment that these people are in. Because, see, the kids that you're talking about, and this is not just for kids, adults are the same way. They're surrounding themselves with other people who are doing the exact same thing.
Hold that thought.
Okay.
It's a good time to take a break.
Okay, we'll take a break. Be right back.
Ron Kay's music instruction has been trusted by thousands in Pensacola to learn, play, and love music. Our strong passion for teaching music provides expert knowledge and guidance which helps you succeed and have fun with your music lessons. Whether it's a bucket list dream or a desire to enhance your child's life, our music lessons are the answer. Call 850-453-9966 now. Realize your musical dreams. Visit musiclessonspensacola.com today.
And we're back. Okay.
Did you hold that thought?
Yes, I got it. We're good. So, what we're saying is that if you're surrounded by people who are all doing the same thing and you're talking to people who are all doing the same thing, then that can kind of help continue the motivation to reach higher levels. Sometimes I think that people will take on an instrument, but they're the only ones they know who are taking on the instrument.
Or they know people who never took lessons and thinks that taking lessons is a waste of money.
Well, or there's the people that, the Instagrammers and whatnot that will go on and do a 30-second clip of, doing something flashy. And that's really all they've got.
Yes.
But they just keep doing it because it captures your attention in that 30 seconds, and then,
then they become an expert on all things music.
Right. And so listening to the wrong people, and again, not being around a community of people who are basically studying to do the same kind of thing. I wonder if that affects the motivation there.
Well, look at this applies to any disciplined sport: basketball, football, golf.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if you're going to be good at that, you have to practice. You have to be disciplined. You have to accept disappointments. You have to learn to overcome those things.
Yeah.
But it seems like to some people that's such a foreign concept. Like, that should never happen in music because music should be fun 24/7. And like I said, it's fun for me. I already paid my dues, so it's fun. I reached that point where it's fun, and I could just play anything I want,
Right.
But you haven't, so therefore you have to do what it takes to do that. And here's how you do that.
Right.
And
there's fun times along the way because you hit those times when this is really fun. I mean, there's, it's built into a lot of these curriculums that we use, that there's kind of like, quote unquote, fun songs. One of my students a couple weeks ago, there's like Prep A, Prep B, he's in Prep C, the level on piano, and he got to When the Saints Go Marching In at the beginning of that level, and he was really excited to play that. And then he came in he's usually online, he came in person, we did the duet. He's been playing it for family and, grandma and stuff. And they're really, and because now it's a song that everybody knows, and it motivated him to kind of go forward. So
as I see it, there's, like if you're not teaching yourself, which, Some people are able to do that, you know.
Yeah.
I did a little bit of that. You did a little bit of that. It can be a benefit, but there are people like that. Then there are people that never want to touch lessons no matter what because they think it's unnecessary. You know, you just.
What are people thinking when they think they don't need lessons?
They're mostly influenced by guys who either taught themselves how to play or already took lessons and got to a certain point and then moved on from there and got really good, you know?
Yeah.
And they tell them, oh, man, lessons, you know, it's not worth your money. It's just taking your money. You're doing all those drills and it's not going to do you nothing, so you're going to learn how to play a drill. What good is that? You should learn how to play a song. If you learn how to play a song, then it's going to be fun all the way. And I hear from all these people that have taken lessons from others in the area that teach songs, and they go like, man, I spent like 8 months learning how to play Blackbird.
Oh, right. Yeah.
And that's all I can do.
Yes.
Right.
And I don't even do it all that well.
Right.
At that point.
Yeah.
You know, it's not in time, you know, it's got no feel, you know, no dynamics. So, you know.
So what we're discussing is elevating beyond just learning how to play a song. We're talking about
skills.
Yes, but I think that's the mindset difference. Is, you know, when somebody takes a hobby, think about you were doing crochet. You were doing crochet. Yeah, that was good. They say with charades, we did pretty good with that. Yeah, that was good.
I'm like, hobby. I don't have any hobbies.
Well, like you did crochet. Did you take crochet lessons?
Well, yes. I kind of did.
Did you pay for crochet
lessons? Pay for them.
Well,
no.
Technically, I bought Bradley coffee.
Okay,
and we would meet at the coffee house.
But
and
seriously,
she would show me how to do it.
But this, what you just said just now,
yeah,
is exactly what other people who already have skills will say. Yeah. I never took any lessons.
Right.
But
somebody showed
them because Bradley showed you how to do it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right? And then what did you do after she showed you how to do it?
I went home and practiced.
You went home and you practiced.
Yep.
Now, did you take lessons? Well, yeah, because you're a teacher. You're sitting here saying, of course I took lessons because I asked somebody for help and they showed me how to do it. But every single person who is not a teacher is going to say, no, I never took lessons. Right. I just figured it out.
I just had a friend show me how to do it.
It's just pride, you know.
Yeah. But really, I was talking to a student about that this week as well because, you know, he took lessons. He's a really excellent guitarist, and he's taking voice lessons now. And he talked about that same thing, that people, why don't people want to admit they need help?
Yes.
He realized he couldn't sing, and he needed help to be a good singer. And now he tells everybody that he's taking singing lessons.
Yeah, that's cool.
Because he's excited about learning, and he knows more, and he listens to other singers, and he knows what they're doing right, and he knows what they're doing wrong, and he's getting better, and he sees that he played the guitar since he was 7, and he's really good now. Well, he's 50-something. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And he's realizing that he doesn't really think he has that many years. But he's made a lot of, because he's had experience, he's made a lot of progress in the time that he's been taking lessons. Yeah. And there is a lot of drills, and there's a lot of scales, and there's a lot, and then that is equating into the songs.
But now, to be fair here, he's coming from a background of already having been a successful musician in another area.
Yes.
So he was familiar with the process to a certain degree, which made him more open to accepting, you know, the advice and the drills and all the things that you're giving to him. I think that sometimes when people don't have that experience, whatever in their head they think lessons is or is supposed to be, that's what they want, even though they don't realize that's you know, like learning the Blackbird thing. I had a student one time, and he's still with us. He's been with us for a really long time. You guys know who I'm talking about. He said one time, and it stuck with me, that there was a guy he knew growing up in high school who learned how to play the guitar and was self-taught. And he learned how to play Here Comes the Sun, and then he learned how to play Blackbird, and he was really good. And he always thought that this guy was just an amazing guitarist, and, you know, this was just that's some people are just born that way. This was one of those guys because he never took any lessons and he could just play beautifully. Okay, well, 20 years go by, and on Facebook he posts a video of him playing Blackbird and Here Comes the Sun, and then the next year he does the same thing, and then the next year does the same thing, and then he starts, and then he told me, you know, I started to realize that even though he's been playing the guitar for 40 years or more, that may be the only thing he knows how to do, is Here Comes the Sun and Blackbird. So then it changed his mind that, like, I don't think he's as great as I thought he was, you know, because see here, this student in particular is somebody who is putting in the time and dedicating and paying for lessons and practicing and, you know, going through the process and building on skills.
Right.
And so when you do that and you see that there's a lot of enjoyment out of that, out of gaining those skills and out of working on that process, that it goes beyond just learning a song or two songs.
This pervades everything.
Yeah.
If you're going to build a house, okay, every little boy got a hammer, a little plastic hammer, right? And I think they come with the kid, you know what I'm saying? and you pound on the pegs, and you get a little experience on hammering stuff. So as you get a little older, then you experiment at like what it feels like to hit your thumb.
Oh yeah. It's usually quickly after,
But then you start hammering boards together, and you go, hey, wow, man, I could build a house.
Yeah.
Okay, so if he was to build a house, what would it look like? I mean, it would be way off center, not square.
Right.
All kinds of problems for support. Like when you look at the framing of a house, there are certain regulations that, you know, you got to have so much kind of wood over the door frame. It has to be so thick, you know, so many pieces and all that. And same thing with the windows and all that. And you have load-bearing walls and all these different things. And then you had this thing called a blueprint. That, you know, when you look at the blueprint, you know what it tells you what to do.
Right.
You know, it doesn't tell you what boards to put there, but it gives you an idea of what needs to be done. If you took the time to study the blueprint and study the craft, and even talk to other people who are successful at it, and you would find out that they learned from somebody. You know, do they go around saying, I never had a lesson in my life?
Oh, no.
You know,
right.
Master electricians, I never had a lesson in my life.
Yeah,
that's the guy I want wired
I want
house.
that guy. Right. You know? Right. No, I'm with you. But that's the thing I think, you know, for me is that, you know, I want to kind of have empathy towards, you know, people in however they're approaching when they come to lessons or when they finally, you know, say, okay, I'm gonna take lessons, you know, whatever, if they're just thinking about taking lessons, but at the same time help show them that, you know, you need to have the right mindset if you're going to be successful.
Well, it's kind of like just like another tool. A teacher almost is like another tool to help you learn. I mean, it really is helpful to have somebody watch you do something and then they can say, do you realize that you're doing this? Because a lot of times we don't realize. Even you bring up the crocheting. So we got together a couple weeks ago and I was crocheting and I had two friends sitting there going, why are you holding the yarn in that hand? You're supposed to be holding it in this hand, and you really aren't. Are you doing a double crochet or a single? And I was like, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just crocheting. And they were both like, it's really not crochet. And I was sort of like, but this is what I've been doing. That's because I've been doing it now, like over the course of a year, off and on.
And they all liked your work too.
Yeah, they said it looked good, but it really wasn't. So I got off somehow. My point is, I wasn't going regular. I wasn't crocheting regular, and I'd pick it up and I wasn't practicing. I picked it up now and then. And then when I went to do it, I was doing all these things wrong. I had bad habits.
You lost that fine motor skill and muscle memory.
Well, yeah, all of that. And I thought, you know, it really does correlate. There's so many things, like you said, golf or any hobby, or any skill that you're trying to learn. You know, you got to be able to look at yourself and see what you're doing. I suppose if I knew something about crocheting and I had videoed myself doing it, I might have been able to pick it up, but that would have been a lot harder.
Oh yeah, it's definitely easier.
Because they've sent me videos. I mean, both of my friends have sent me YouTube videos of other people crocheting. That for me personally, that doesn't help.
Yeah.
I'm watching someone else crochet, going, "Yeah, you got this."
They got it.
You know, I don't know how that. I can't see myself in that situation for some reason. So, for me, I need somebody to watch
and give you the feedback.
And give me the feedback.
I think as far as learning an instrument, it can be done on your own,
sure,
so to speak.
Yeah.
Although no man's an island, you're gonna have to find the information somewhere, whether it's on the internet or your buddies or whatever.
Yeah.
You know, or you could take lessons, and I think lessons are probably, if it's a good teacher and a good method, that's probably your surest bet to getting to the goal of being able to play well.
Yep.
Because as somebody who's studying the methods and been down all the rabbit trails and know they don't go anywhere and can keep you focused and keep you moving. It's just a matter of accepting the fact that there's a process. We talk about this all the time. Mm-hmm. You got to embrace the process, man. It's not like it's going to last forever and torment you forever. It's only
I hope it's not torment.
It might torment you a little bit until you get with it. Yeah. When you adopt it, okay, this is what I'm doing.
But that's what I was saying. It's the mindset. It's the mindset of what you're taking on. Because, that if you come in with this mindset of, well, I'm just paying for lessons and that's enough to make me amazing, like comparing myself to professionals. Because I think I get that so much. I don't get it so much from the kids because, and honestly, like this isn't a put down or anything, but I heard somebody else say this once before. Kids are kind of bad at everything. And so, but I mean, that's what it is. I mean,
they haven't lived
because
life.
they haven't
inexperienced.
That's what it is. And so a lot of times they kind of are okay with being told that they're not doing stuff right because
they're being told
they're always
all
being
the time.
all the time, right?
Yeah.
At school, at home, because they're constantly being corrected because they're learning, right? And then of course you give them praise and stuff when they do things right, but I mean, but that's the thing is like they kind of have this mindset of, well, most of what I do, it gets corrected.
Needs to get better.
Right? Yeah. And so, but for adults, I think it's a lot harder.
Yeah.
And
that's interesting.
It's a lot harder to
not many
accept.
people are telling them.
Right.
They're doing it wrong.
Right.
Your boss might not even tell you.
He
might not think you're that good at your job, but you're not going to get fired.
Right.
So you're going to go on doing it, not right or not as well as you should, and never know the difference.
Right, because people won't want it. They don't want to offend, or they don't want it. Yeah. And so that's when you come to lessons then, and then it's like, okay, now I'm going to show you what you're doing wrong and what you need to do to fix it to get better. And then they'll compare themselves to professionals and be like, well, how come I'm not like them, and I'm sitting there going, well. It's because they've been at it longer. They went through the process. They did the things I'm telling you to do. Like, come on, like it's just, it is. Like I said, it's a mindset of if you're going to learn how to do this and you're going to take lessons, you're going to take lessons from a teacher that you trust. Then you need to do what the teacher is telling you to do.
And you have victories along the way.
Yes.
You don't want to make it sound like, oh, it's just so drudgery all the time, because you don't.
No,
you
it's not. You know what the drudgery is when people are fighting the system, when people are fighting the process.
Yes.
Or they got too many voices in their head.
And those are the people that die in the valley, so to speak.
Yes.
Yeah, they don't make it.
They had the honeymoon thing. They went down in the valley instead of muscling up the next hill. They just listen to all the naysayers.
That's what gets in the way, right?
The
because
naysayers.
Right.
Yeah.
The biggest thing when it comes to kids is they just don't like the hassle of practice.
Yeah.
So that's the biggest thing. It's not this kind of thing that we're talking about. It's a lot of times you hear parents are complaining and because they're arguing with their kid when it's time to practice. That's kind of the biggest thing that we get. But typically speaking, they enjoy their lessons, if you're doing it right, which I think we are. They enjoy coming to lessons and, they enjoy when they can do things that they couldn't do before and they show their friends and, and things like that and whatnot. And so, but then that's kind of what they're dealing with. But then a lot of times what the adults are dealing with, whether it's, their own ego or it's listening to too many random sources, and not evaluating evaluating those sources to see, is this the best information that I'm getting?
Or nobody's constantly telling them that they're not doing it right.
But that's the thing, not wanting to take that feedback, right?
Yeah.
Not being open to accepting the criticism,
And
accepting
it
the
becomes
correction.
insulting that you're telling me I'm making mistakes.
Right.
You know?
Right.
And it's like, yeah, you got to get out of the way, you know?
I know. I had a guy say, he said this several times in this lesson, so it shouldn't be this hard. And I finally said to him, why?
Yeah.
What?
Why do you
What do you
think
mean this shouldn't be that hard? Why are you saying that?
Yes.
You know?
That's a good point, because he's saying something he has no idea what he's saying.
Right. How would you even know?
What are you basing this on?
Exactly. Exactly.
If
How
you
would
don't know
ex-
how to do it, it's going to be hard
It's gonna be
until
hard
you get
until you get it.
Yeah.
Right?
And then
So-
you get it, and
Right.
then it's exciting.
So what is happening in his head that's hanging him up now? Because he could be enjoying this process. You know what I'm saying? He could be enjoying working hard and then finally obtaining the skill. But he's getting in his own way because he's telling himself it shouldn't be this hard. Like you know, he's somehow less of a person.
Yeah.
You know, that because he's struggling, and it's like.
And we
Man.
tell him everybody struggles.
Yes.
Everybody's-
I struggle.
Yes.
You struggle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All God's children.
We do.
That's it.
But it's coming out. It's coming through the struggle. I think that it's that good feeling. You can't bottle that. You know. You
Oh yeah.
can't, you know.
Accept the struggle, own it,
Yeah.
conquer it.
Yes.
You know,
Yeah.
and then it's
Enjoy the process.
It's super
You know, I
rewarding.
tell people that all the time, that the hills and valleys thing, you know, you're going to go through hills and valleys, and that's never going to probably stop. If you're going to continue to get better,
Yeah.
you're always going to have hills and always going to have, you know, valleys. And some days you're going to feel like playing, and some days you're not. And some days you're going to do really good with your timing, and other days you're going to be struggling to make
Yeah.
it good.
That's how it
you know?
goes. Yeah.
That's
just,
it.
but you know, if you drive yourself nuts with the pressure, or you could learn to enjoy that, knowing that that's just a fact of life. It's like oxygen, you know,
Yeah.
you breathe it. That's,
Yeah.
You have to think to breathe it. You just breathe it. It's
Right.
there, you know.
Right.
Yeah.
There
It's
you
the
go.
same thing with the process. Why are you letting that tangle you up?
Right.
Yeah.
You know, just deal with it. Just know if I'm in the valley, okay, it's time to crank it out now.
You just gotta keep working.
You know, people go to gyms and they work out on the treadmill and they lift weights and they do all this stuff. And when it gets hard, you know, very few people I've seen just give up. Oh, that's it. I can't do this. It's too hard.
Well, it does happen. It does happen though.
No,
It's funny.
It might happen
Yeah.
in here.
Yeah.
It doesn't come out.
It doesn't
here.
come out right,
And,
right.
and it has
No, I know
no
what you mean.
visual effect.
I know what you mean.
I don't see people walking away slamming the weights down.
They just
That's it. I'm done. I can't do this.
I
go
could
storming
do
out of Planet Fitness.
that. I don't know.
Oh my gosh.
We skipped leg day the other day, and that was
Yes.
on something. Don't skip
Oh, it was
leg
the
day.
Thor movie.
Yeah.
Never skip leg. He never skips leg day.
I was like, oh my gosh. Real quick,
completely
I wanted to
derailed.
say real quick about this. We talked about practicing and the process and students and all their motivation. So I had a student that missed her regular lesson, so then she theoretically had 2 extra days, maybe 3, to practice, right? So she came on a Monday to her lesson and did terrible.
Okay.
I mean, really did terrible. Didn't pass anything, couldn't play with the metronome. I mean, it was like, I don't think she opened her books. The next lesson she was supposed to have was 3 days later. So
No.
I'm thinking, what's going to happen? She had a week and a half. Now she's got 3 days. Well, oh my gosh. She really didn't like that uncomfortable feeling of coming to her
good
lesson.
for her.
Not-
That's
yes, because
The
she
sign of
came.
wisdom.
I was so excited, and then she was excited. And when you see that feeling, that happens in a student where they get it, and she played the first song, knocked it out, 60, 80, 100. We
Yeah.
did the duet. Second song, knocked it out. Did all of her workbook pages. It was like,
It's awesome.
I'm looking, and we had like 15 minutes left. I was like, this
That was
is
great.
so. And then she was happy, and I was happy, and I said, oh my gosh, that was so great. And then her dad was like, yeah, because, obviously she put the time in those 3 days.
Yeah.
Now, she
She made 'em
probably
count.
it made the time count, and it was so exciting. And then she left the lesson excited about the new songs that she was going to work on.
She
so,
made it to the next.
yes,
hill.
I know,
Yeah, next
and
top of the
seeing
mountain.
where we're going, and so
That's
I
exciting.
was really so happy to have those moments, because then like, okay, she's starting to get it, that the process it works when
now,
you do
now
it.
here's the thing: was she happy because she learned the song?
No, she was
It had
excited.
nothing to do with it.
No, I mean, we had fun playing the duet, and we played it, a couple of times because it's a lot of fun. But no, I think she genuinely was proud of herself. She put the work in. She played it. She gained the skills. She's moving on to
Those
the next
mountaintops are awesome.
Yes.
I mean, you could really see a good vision all the way around on the mountaintop. Where you've been, what you went through,
and where you're going,
and how it paid off.
That's it.
It was exciting. So I just wanted to share that.
No, that's great. That's
great.
great. I mean, that's the thing. We had a student yesterday that is working on getting ready to become a music major, and one of the things that he said was, "I've never worked this hard for anything. I didn't even know that I could do this. I could work this hard."
And there was this spontaneous hallelujah chorus.
I know, right?
In the studio.
Yeah, that's
but I mean, he's enjoying the hard work. That's the other
and
thing.
he said he's learning more about himself in this process because he always was like, I can only go this far, and now he's seeing,
he knows he can go farther.
Oh my gosh, I can go so much further, and then that's getting him excited about the future, and what he wants to do with his life, and it was really cool. So so that's the thing. This is the same, the same. It's not just kids. It's not adults. It's everybody. With this, having
it's
that.
Very
right
rewarding
mindset.
when students get it.
Yes,
and
absolutely.
That's why we teach. People ask all the time. Like there's always social media. Why? What's your why? Or why do you teach? Blah blah. But when you see students achieve things they didn't think they could achieve, or they get it, they just get the process, and they it makes it all worth it.
That's a teacher thing,
Yeah, it's exciting.
When you're a teacher, you can see that and appreciate that and know that that's more valuable than money.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah, money doesn't hurt, but
we
want to pay the teachers more money. We'll take it. Yeah, don't misunderstand all the government officials listening right now. Oh man! All right, well that sounds like a great place to wrap this up. So this has been Coffee with the K's. Special music in the intro and outro is done by this guy right here, Ron K, on his K-Struction album. Nashville is the newest single that has been released, so you need to make sure that you go to Spotify and Apple Music and anywhere you stream music, you need to look up Nashville by Ron K, and you'll enjoy it. It's a really good track. Coffee with the K is available on anywhere you get your podcasts as well as YouTube, so make sure you subscribe so you see all of our episodes. We're going to be working on one pretty soon, try to get Ryan back in here, and we'll make that episode again, and that'll be a lot of fun to get to meet him, and we'll do that, and that'll be good. And in the meantime, if anything we said here has inspired you, make sure you leave us a comment, let us know. And if you're thinking about picking up an instrument and trying to play yourself, you can do it, and we're here to help. So give us a call. Go to our website, musiclessonspensacola.com, and we are worldwide now. We're doing all the way around. We got people in Hawaii and all over the country and stuff. So we can teach you wherever you're at. All right. So thank you for joining us, and we'll see you next time. Coffee with the K's.